I think it would be a very good idea to have a website that tracked exactly how corporations have price gouged us. I saw this post on Threads, and you could see it's the same menu, KFC 1995, KFC 2026, and we have the prices that KFC has offered. I decided to run the 1995 numbers through the inflation calculator, and you can see a significant difference in what our spending power should be. $3.49 is $7.75 in 2026 dollars. They're going $10.49. $4.49, $9.98, $12.49, $8.99, $19.97, $28.99. The higher it gets, the more they're bilking us. And then $14.99 should be $33.30. They're going $49.99. Now, other than the pictures, I don't have any real data on what the portions are. It looks like from the pictures that KFC is giving us less and charging us more. There's a very clear indication of shrinkflation. I think what we should try to do is collect as many menus and circulars and flyers from the 90s and see what the same items go for in 2026. And then you could have an index of what companies are doing the most price gouging. Now, if you were to take this data and cross-reference it against profit margin, number of employees, number of firings, I think we would have a very good indicator about which corporations were absolutely evil. For my cursory work here, it seems that KFC is pretty fucking evil.
Holy shit, YouTube. What the fuck is going on, yo? $3.49 equals $7.75. $14.99 would equal $33. Like, the inflation going on is bonkers, yo. Completely bonkers. That's so, like, bro, I wish I was born back then, bro. That seems so much more chill to be a teenager. But now, motherfucker, like, $33, bro, that's like, well, that's like 6 hours on federal minimum wage. Not 6, 5 hours 5 hours federal minimum wage. That's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, that's absolutely stupid. Like, the world is just so expensive right now. And the economy, I don't even know. But let's get into the video.
Good morning, America. Teens didn't work this summer because adults were having trouble working this summer. The Bureau of Labor Statistics put out a report saying that in the month of July, we lost 23,000 jobs in the United States. And I've been asking you to issue a correction about a story that you ran 8 weeks ago today, where you said that teens were having a harder time this summer finding a job than ever before in American recorded history. That was true. But then you went on to say that kids could still find jobs and to not worry. They just had to think outside the box. And then you suggested things like cashiers and said they could find those jobs for on average $21 an hour. That's not true. That's not true, Good Morning America. Teens can't find jobs and adults can't find jobs, and it's because there are less jobs in the United States, and a lot of the existing jobs that used to be held by human beings are now held by AI. They're automated. They're not jobs that we can hold anymore. And in nowhere in the United States is an entry-level position averaging like a cashier at $21 an hour. The highest state minimum wage, I do believe, is $17 an hour. And there are a lot of states that are still following the federal minimum wage of $7.25 that hasn't been risen in 17 years. But the cost of living has gone up 40% in 2 years, Good Morning America. So I'm asking you to issue a correction because the American people are really hurting right now. The American people are working multiple jobs all the time just to make ends meet, just to get by, just to put food on the table, just to keep a roof over their head. And 2 months ago, 8 weeks ago today, you reported that teens were having a hard time finding jobs and then just chucked that up to them being lazy and not getting on the internet and actually applying for anything. And that's not what's happening. And it's important that the millionaires at the top, that's you, Good Morning America, because all of your news anchors make over $1 million and haven't had to work a regular 9-to-5 job or suffer in any way like the average American worker in a very, very, very long time. You let them sit at that news desk and report on this story and then let them make personal commentary and say things like, yeah, it has nothing to do with the fact that people won't get out of bed before noon. They're blaming the current economic status. Millionaires, Good Morning America, are blaming the current economic status on people like me not working hard enough and then having children and then having them not work hard enough. I'm so tired of being told that the American people aren't working hard enough when it's all they do. Good morning, America. No one's doing anything fun anymore. They're just working. You need to issue a correction because the American people are hurting. And you're the news. So you should report on that. If you're going to report on the fact that it's hard to find jobs, then talk about why it's actually hard to find jobs. I'm so tired of the American worker being blamed for literally everything that's happening. Blame yourselves. Blame the people at the top. I'm done. I'm so tired of this. Good morning, America. Issue a correction. You took down the story, so you've already admitted that what you did was wrong.
Yeah, finding a job as a teenager is very difficult at the moment, and I think it's because okay, let's think about like the whole job market in its entirety, right? Let's say you go to college, you get a degree, then you try to get a job, you can't get a job, right? You can't get a job, you have all these debts, and you can't get a job in your field. So what do? You got to end up settling, and you go for like the teen jobs, quote unquote teen jobs. You know what I'm saying? And okay, so that's like extra competition for teenagers, and even like old people who can't retire because maybe they weren't as financially responsible when they were younger, or just anything that could have gone on. Maybe they didn't get to go like pursue a career. They just always worked like dead end jobs, whatever, right? Not to be rude, obviously, but that's more competition for teenagers. And as a business, right? Like, say you're a business, would you hire like a 16-year-old? Would you hire a 16-year-old who can only work limited hours, who has school sports, school activities, probably and they want time to hang out with their friends and stuff, right? All those limitations. Would you choose them? Or like even in the summer, you know what I mean? Like the kid's gonna want to go out. Like no kid's gonna want to work full time, really, unless like there are outliers, obviously, but people want to like spend time with their friends, you know what I'm saying, or to spend time with the family, have time for yourself at least, you know what I mean? They're like, okay, so would you choose a kid or like a kid who like just wants the job, really, right? Kind of, but choose them, or would you choose the adult who is desperately struggling to stay afloat because those jobs don't pay enough to keep you alive, so they're like scrounging pennies and stuff like that, right? So that lets you treat them worse because what are they going to do? They can't just leave, or else what? Then they're homeless, you know what I'm saying? They have to just put up with anything, and they're going to probably work more hours, and like you can get them in whenever you want because they're just so free, you know what I mean? Like I feel like when you're an adult, then your life revolves kind of around work, so it's like it's much more reliable, easier to like do scheduling, and you can treat them worse because they have to stay with you because they're so like because it's scarcity and your life depends on it, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's my opinion on it though.
$50 an hour, the new middle class. I know that sounds so outrageous to say, but I almost think it's necessary for people to live with these cost of living. And what's bizarre is the hourlies are not matching up at all. There are people in fast food joints with no experience that can get started for $16 an hour, but yet there's job postings where they want a bachelor's or master's degree starting you off at $17 an hour. That, in my opinion, is minimum wage. That is $2,300 a month after taxes. Rent is $2,000, groceries is $1,000, childcare is like $2,000, not to mention everything else. Like $2,300 people cannot survive on, and that's what they're starting bachelor's and master's degree people on? What? I talked to a guy who was a bartender. He was serving us drinks last weekend, and he said he used to be a school teacher, and he quit because he was only making $50,000 a year, and when he bartends, he makes over $100,000. So he's like, why did I even go to college and do all that? But that's why this whole thing is out of whack. The companies that just seem to also be out of touch with, they're so excited about starting at $17 an hour. Even if you work your way up to $35 an hour, it's still barely enough to get by. You're not going to be able to buy a house on $35 an hour. So that's what's out of whack even more than inflation.
As Americans, we love humiliation rituals, but one that I don't see getting discussed enough is obviously not only the fact that, one-bedroom apartments in this country average in around $1,600, but the fact that 90% of those apartments are shit. not only are they locationally shit, but the actual quality of the unit is going to be shit, you know? And it makes me really, really sad, because there's only a few American cities that are genuinely worth living in, right? The ones that have some culture, some walkability, natural beauty, and those are far and few between. And not only that, but they are extremely priced out of range for the average American, right? You're going to need, if you can find anything, multiple roommates. Basically commit at least 50% of your income, if you have a median income, to that rent. And it's exhausting, right? And, you know, once you have done some traveling and just a little bit, and you see, like, wait a second, these people are paying for, you know, a centrally located, beautiful, real city. I'm talking about a real city, right? With actual culture, actual walkability, actual public transportation. People are outside till midnight on an average weekday. Like, there's real qualities to the city. And, you know, yes, I know we're comparing different currencies here, but they're so much more affordable, and you actually get what you're paying for, right? Why is, you know, a 1-bed or a 2-bed out in some suburb of Illinois, you know, $2,200 to do nothing but stare at the strip mall across the street that has a Little Caesars and a Mattress Firm? You know, and by the way, you got to cross 4 lanes of traffic to get there, so you're not walking to that Little Caesars. And it's just like, that is a humiliation ritual. That in itself is an absolute humiliation ritual. It's so disappointing once you see how, you know, the possibilities of everyday life in a lot of these other places, and then you come back and you're looking at any city in this country that is worth a damn, and you're like, damn, I need to literally commit 75% of my income if I want to have something on my own, for something, you know, that is going to have 10 different issues. And by the way, there's 10 different steps, 10 different qualifications to even get the lease. It sucks. It sucks to know. It sucks to know. Ignorance is bliss, but not really, because it's fake too. But that is a ritual, humiliation ritual, that is so hard to overcome for young people. And what the F are we going to do about that one?
Hey, bro. Me personally, I wouldn't mind $50 an hour minimum wage, you know what I mean? That would be great. I would love that, to be honest. But I think if we did increase the minimum wage to that high, then, like, everything would go up in price crazy, you know what I'm saying? It's late while making this video. But we're going to go through some comments under these videos to give you guys another perspective on it. So, let me get my camera set up. We're in pretty good position right here, I'd say. And then let's read. I've been buying the same bag of dog food for 8 years. When I started buying it, a 15-pound bag was $10 8 years ago. Yesterday, I bought the exact same bag, except it's now 13.8 pounds and on sale, and it was $15. So you're getting less weight, or like less of it, and it's on sale, and still 1.5 times more. Yeah, what a great, that's great. I can remember my family going to KFC in the 70s and 80s and getting a bucket and sides for probably under $20. Oh my god. Ugh. Thing is, I don't understand is that chicken is still relatively cheap compared to other meat. 12 pieces of chicken shouldn't be $50. Yeah, for sure. It should not. Because 50 divided by 12, what's that? It's like $4 a piece, basically. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, some pieces are like kind of small. Like, God, that's horrible, right? And it's smaller portions and cheaper ingredients. Yeah, that's shrinkflation, and it's just like them cutting costs, you know what I'm saying? Also, it's worse, cheaper ingredients and mass produced rather than from scrap. Yeah. I'm 25 and working $16.75 an hour in food service cashiering because in 5 months it's the only job that replied to me. See, that's like the scarcity thing, you know what I mean? Like, after they get that one job, they're stuck with it. They gotta just put up with it. They just gotta stick at the job because they have to, because the job market is so fucked right now. That's what I was saying. I'm a grocery store cashier at 18. I'm the youngest person working in the adult store. My coworkers are adults just trying to make ends meet. Yeah, see, that's the difference, bro. Also, a lot of entry-level jobs have become outsourced to people that live in other countries. Yeah, especially remote jobs. Bro, I called Domino's the other day and a robot answered. That used to be a teen's job. Bro, I saw this TikTok. It was like Taco Bell. Taco Bell drive-through is AI now. It's crazy. A Starbucks drink is more expensive than the minimum wage. We're doing great in America. Yeah, Starbucks is too damn expensive, bro. Jobs are paying 17 an hour when you need at least 30 an hour to live. I think more than that, to be honest. But yeah, like that we need wage increases for sure. Make minimum wage 50 and immediately see 300 times price increase and everything else. Like, yeah, bro, that's probably how it would, like, hypothetically, if it did get raised to 50, holy, the prices would absolutely be insane. 100K is a new 50K? It depends how you look at it. 50 an hour should be federal minimum wage. I mean, like, it sounds good, but then it's like, if everyone's making 50 an hour, who's gonna want to work? You know what I mean? And then who's gonna, like, you know, like, 50 an hour is too much. You know what I'm saying? I think it should be, I think federal minimum wage should be, like, raised to a livable wage. But a huge jump like that would dead ass, like, for, like, even if companies weren't greedy, that would force price jumps hella high. And yeah, that's it for the video, guys. Hope you guys all have a great day. Let me know any experiences you guys have, but let me know if you guys like. My audience is like adults kind of, so let me know like if you guys notice any like price increases from when you were little or like younger till now, because I'm really interested in hearing about that. So yeah, hope you guys all have a great day. Peace out.